We're going to take one of them, we're going to turn it into our cooling media tank. So, with that said, grab yourself a glass of sweet tea, kick back, relax, take in a little bit more southern exposure. Hi guys, Tim again with Real Southern Exposure. Welcome to another episode. We are in the mill house today, however, we aren't going to be running the mill. We're going to be doing something a little extra I've been trying to take care of for a while. I just really haven't had an opportunity to do it, so we're going to do it today. So that is these little plastic tanks they give you on the Wood Miser. I mean, they're good for holding coolant or your cooling media or something like that, lubricating media. They're good for that, for temporary use. This is probably the 6th or 7th these little plastic tanks that I've bought for this, and I'm just over buying. So they serve their purpose, which I don't blame them for using them because they're cheap, they're easy. It's a convenience thing and a cost conscious thing. I get it. All right. However, we're not going to use this anymore. Now we're going to take, I've got a bunch of these 7-gallon portable tanks, air tanks laying around. Okay, this portable tank right here that we got, I don't know where exactly it came from. I don't even think it works, to be honest with you. I don't think it's worked for a while. I am assuming that it's probably one of the Harbor Freight specials, and judging by how thick the metal is right here, it's going to tell me roughly how thick the walls of the tank is, which probably about 1/16 of an inch. So with that said, whenever it comes down to welding, what we're going to do is we're going to weld these fittings and these fittings on this tank, and we're going to install some tubing for a vent line. We're going to install another piece of pipe or coupling. I think this is like an inch and a quarter, inch and a half. We're going to install that on there, and we're going to use just a simple pipe plug in there so we can take and fill and drain or fill the tank whenever we need to. So, and then on the sides, we're going to take these 1/4-inch pieces, 90-degree 1/4-inch MPT, and we're going to put that on the side, one there and one there, and some hose barbs, put them on there, and we're going to attach this clear hose right here to it. And what that's going to be for is to let us know exactly how much fluid is inside of this tank. And then at the end, we're going to end up putting another one of these 1/2-inch MPTs right there and throw a valve on it. All right. And then we're going to weld this where that plastic tank is. All right. So let's get down to it. Let me get some ear pro. Okay, so first things first, we're going to take this valve off. Take this guy completely off. I don't think it works anyway. So, this being 1/2-inch makes it perfect for this vent line to go in. So this vent line, we're just going to put in one of these brass compression couplers. It's got a ferrule right here on the inside, and that ferrule sits inside of a collar goes on here. So you can run the copper tubing down inside of it, and it crimps the copper tubing to that ferrule, and the ferrule squeezes down inside of the brass fitting, and then that way the copper ain't going nowhere. And what we'll do is we'll run this up and we're going to curl it over, so that way it will be able to vent. We'll stuff some sponge up in there, or steel wool, and it won't allow nothing to go inside of it, like little bugs and stuff. However, it will allow the air pressure to vent whenever the fuel is, or water, or whatever's on the inside is sloshing back and forth. It will allow for that water, that air pressure on the inside to vent off as needed. So that's going to be a good thing. So we'll hold off on putting that on there. All right, now what we need to do now is we're going to cut this ring off so we can install this right here, which is going to be the fill for the tank. Okay, so go ahead and do that now. Okay, what I'm going to use is that high quality Harbor Freight equipment. These are the Harbor Freight Warrior brand. These are 16th inch cutoff wheels, 4.5 inches with 7/8 arbor. I don't really care too much about the brand or anything like that. I just need it to hold together while I cut something off. But I really don't put a whole lot of faith in a whole lot of Harbor Freight stuff because of the high quality Chinese made equipment. So we'll go ahead and cut this ring off the top right here, and so we can make a place for our fill today. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and put that grinding wheel on there, and we're going to grind off whatever buggers we got left. We could use this cutoff wheel for that. However, you'll take a chance on that cutoff wheel exploding by doing that. So, and we're just going to use a 3/16 by 4.5. This one's a lot ground down. Let me. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take and put a sanding disc on here to get rid of the paint, because we're going to have to weld. Now that we got that done, let's go ahead and get ready to drill our holes, our pilot holes in this, so we can go ahead and start putting the fittings in as necessary, okay? So let's do that now. So the bit I'm going to start off with here is, these are DeWalt bits. These are for metal with they got a little pilot bit on the tip of them, which usually they're pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and start that right here. Now that we got that done, the rest of this we're going to have to cut out with a torch. So what we'll do is we're going to take our paint pen and we're going to put this guy up here where we need him at, and we're going to mark it out on the inside. All right, and that way we'll be good with this. So now we can go ahead and weld this piece right here on here, and this piece right here. We'll weld both of them two together. And yeah. Now, judging because this stuff is so thin, what I'm going to weld them with is 6011 rods. These 6011s are 60,000 pound tensile strength. That doesn't really matter because this isn't really holding a whole lot of pressure. However, because they are 6011s, they can operate at much lower temperatures, which is what's required because this metal is so thin. So with that said, we're going to turn our little cheapy hot box, we're going to turn it down, put some gloves on, and we're going to weld those two fittings on there, and we're also going to weld this one fitting right here. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that now. Alright, now that we ended up getting those welded on, what I'm going to do now is I am going to go and take this with me, and so we can cut the fill port, cut it out. So, go do that now. We're going to glue this 1.5 inch coupling right here. It's galvanized. So a lot of people say that galvanized is poisonous, which it is. But I'm not intending on drinking a whole lot of it or breathing in a whole lot of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a bead around it, try and make it as watertight as possible, and see how that works. Let's do it. Okay guys, now that we got that done, we're going to take and put on a iPro, do a little bit of sanding, and get this baby ready for paint. Remember, with MPT threads, the threads actually flare in, so that way the more you tighten them up, the deeper they go, the further out they become, and it's meant to wedge the fitting inside of there. Alright guys, as you can see, I already took the old tank off. I installed the new tank. I got a tack weld on this pipe fitting right here and a tack on each one of the legs on the back. With this ball valve right here, it makes everything a whole lot easier. Alright, I put the fuel in it. You can see it through the sight glass right here. It's right up to here is where the level's at. I've already put the copper tubing up there. That doesn't look that great, so I'm probably going to redo that somehow. I might end up going with an oil filter instead and just run the pipe up and put an oil filter on top. That way that'll stop anything from getting inside the tank, and at the same time vent it properly. And the fuel cap right here has already been put in place. It works great. The whole thing works awesome. So We're going to take and run this for a little while, see how it goes. And if it goes well, we'll probably end up switching out the plastic fuel tank on that side with another one of these. I have probably a dozen or so of these tanks. Anyway, I hope this video has been educational. I hope you liked it. Do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with a friend. We do appreciate it. And if you want to get in on that giveaway on the first video of every month, just take and leave a comment down below. And we just need something that timestamps your name during that month period. So with that said, we'll see you on the next video. And God bless.